In London during the NATO meeting, a number of world leaders were caught on a hot mic talking about President Trump in less than positive terms. Here's a bit of that video. So there you had Justin Trudeau, not in costume, Boris Johnson, Emmanuel Macron, and I think that was Stephen Colbert, I'm joking. But anyway, they were talking about the president, how he had, as soon as he got to the meeting, he was gonna there was a photo shoot that turned into him ranting at the cameras for 40 minutes, which set back the whole thing. Now we're gonna have, Trudeau was asked about this. We've also got Trump responding on video. What'd you think?
Well, I mean, again, another instance of the world laughing at us, as we were talking about before. I think it was at G7 when they laughed before, and we know this president came forward and said, we're gonna stop being the laughing stock of the world, when in reality, we've become the laughing stock of the world since he's walked in. Again, another complete opposite fact based off of exactly what he said wouldn't happen. It's not surprising anymore. We know how they feel. The only problem is that they're not allowed to say this openly.
Exactly. Now, Donald Trump was asked about this. Here's how he responded.
Video of Prime Minister Trudeau talking about you last night.
Well, he's two-faced.
Do you think that Germany is too naive?
And honestly, with Trudeau, he's a nice guy. I find him to be a very nice guy. But the truth is that I called him out on the fact that he's not paying 2%. And I guess he's not very happy about it. I mean, you were there, a couple of you were there, and he's not paying 2%, and he should be paying 2%. It's Canada, they have money, and they should be paying 2%. So I called him out on that, and I'm sure he wasn't happy about it, but that's the way it is.
Now, I know what you're expecting, that I'm going to eviscerate Donald Trump, and a little bit maybe, but that was actually for Trump a pretty mature response, I think.
What, the second part of the two-faced part?
He said he was two-faced. Okay, fine. But then he goes on and he talks about the policy. He didn't slam him and call him short or ugly, which
policy? The policy of how much they're contributing
the NATO
to NATO
contributions.
But what does that have to do with the fact that he's held up the meetings and he sat there for 40 minutes and he goes off the top, makes these speeches, and 3 world leaders are talking about how annoying he is? None of that has anything to do with how much Canada's paying. What about how much France? What about how much Britain is paying? Because those other 2 world leaders were in on this conversation.
They were too,
as well.
I'm just saying he didn't call him like shifty Justin. He didn't talk about the blackface incident or anything, and that's a super low bar, but Donald Trump generally trips over bars that low. Now, to the core of this, Trudeau was asked about this. He says, last night I made a reference to the fact that there was an unscheduled press conference before my meeting with President Trump, and I was happy to take part in it. But it was certainly notable, and I've had a number of good conversations with the president over the course of this day and yesterday. He adds that he had a great meeting with him. But it should be noted that Donald Trump abruptly canceled a press conference that was supposed to mark the end of the meeting and instead just left after this because maybe he didn't want to be on stage with him. And here's the thing, I don't want to read too much into this, it's not the most important thing in the world, but Donald Trump, in the same way that I was doing a live video earlier today, Rudy Giuliani, who had sort of threatened Trump with blackmail material to some extent, he says jokingly, we just found out from Vanity Fair yesterday, Trump banned him from going on Fox News anymore. He's a thin-skinned individual. That video of Trudeau and Macron and Johnson, what they were saying was not that bad.
Totally.
It was not that bad, and yet it tells him they're talking about me, they're joking about me. I'm technically in the club, but I'm not really in the club. And even though I say that I'm strong and I'm beautiful and everyone loves me, I know deep down that they don't actually love me. They're joking about me, they're laughing at me.
This goes back to the thing I was saying about the billionaires that were crying about being slammed and lambasted by people like Elizabeth Warren, and they get all mad and say, how dare you talk about us like that? If I'm the president of the United States and I'm bragging about how powerful and strong I am, in the best country in the world, I could not care less about what you have to say about me, because I'm doing my job. So if I see the 3 guys are talking about how long I took in a press conference because I talk too much, I'd be like, I guess I did, huh?
Yeah, joke back.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
It means you have very low self-esteem and not much self-confidence, and you need people to support your weak mind.
And unfortunately, we know that that's true. And so I would say for the next 48 hours or so, maybe 3 days, I would be worried about what he might do, because it's gonna be gnawing at the back of his tiny little pea-sized brain, like thinking about what happened, and when the late night comics are joking about it, and when SNL's definitely gonna have Trudeau talking. So anyway, I would just be a little bit worried about how he might respond. Thank you for watching this clip from the Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.